Any look at that guy's face, the man dies. Max is just such a face and he's not happy about it at all. He can't make friends and his love life is a complete disaster. We start with Max, who finds himself in a meeting with a psychologist. Max shares with the psychologist his desire to lead a normal life, yet acknowledges such a wish is unattainable. He reveals he possesses an extraordinary ability that results in the demise of anyone who lays eyes on his face. Born with a visage of unparalleled beauty, Max explains that merely glancing at him causes individuals to pass away instantly, albeit in a state of bliss and contentment. Then we go back to the moment of Max's birth, illustrating how his unique condition resulted in the sudden deaths of the medical staff who first saw him. Due to this, Max's family decides to relocate to a secluded town, implementing numerous safeguards to both protect Max and those around him. The psychologist, skeptical of Max's account, requests the young man to remove the dark sunglasses and bandages concealing his face, intended to prevent others from seeing him and facing the fatal consequence. In the waiting area, Max's parents hear an unusual sound, prompting them to rush into the office. They discover Max reapplying his bandages and the psychologist lifeless on the floor. The arrival of the police quickly follows, raising their suspicions towards Max, who seems to always be present at the scene of these mysterious deaths. Fortunately for Max, he manages to avoid any serious consequences. Back at home, Max seeks the help of his friend Matt, asking him to strike him with a brick. They had previously attempted something similar with a hammer, all in Max's desperate attempts to disfigure his own face to end the deadly curse of his lethal beauty. Matt, preoccupied with his phone, doesn't notice Max's frustration until his phone is thrown away, prompting Matt to finally act. Following this incident, Max ends up in the hospital accompanied by his mother. Max's friend Dan, who often searches for dates online, notices Max is feeling down. To uplift his spirits, Dan arranges a blind date for Max with a woman he hasn't met before. The date starts off awkwardly, with the woman appearing uneasy and skeptical about Max's covered appearance. In an attempt to warm things up, Max presents her with a small gift and tries to engage in lighthearted flirtation, but his attempts don't seem to resonate, leaving the woman disinterested. The situation escalates when the woman's ex-boyfriend, a menacing and confrontational figure, arrives, mocking Max's looks and causing a scene by spilling their drinks. In a humiliating act, he attempts to wipe the spill with Max's face, further embarrassing him in public and leading to the woman's rejection of Max. Feeling dejected, Max contemplates jumping off a bridge, only to be interrupted by a passerby named Alex. She engages him in conversation, encouraging him to see the beauty in life. Alex then introduces Max to a care facility for the elderly, where they spend time with residents, including two elderly women, one with Alzheimer's and the other with a terminal illness. Alex, it turns out, also lives with a unique condition similar to Max's. This series of events reveals the depths of Max's struggles, but also introduces him to new perspectives and possibilities for connection, even amidst his extraordinary circumstances. Alex, it turns out, struggles with feeling emotions due to her emotionally detached nature, which makes it challenging for her to form friendships. After spending a pleasant day together, Max walks Alex home and hesitantly asks if they might meet again. However, Alex declines, leaving Max disheartened. On another day, while with a buddy, Max shares his encounter with Alex and his desire to reconnect with her. His friend advises him to return to the spot where they first crossed paths. Heeding this advice, Max heads to the bus stop where he and Alex last met, and to his delight, finds her there. He manages to persuade her to spend time with him once more. This time, they venture into a store to purchase an enormous amount of candy, fulfilling Max's whimsical dream of bathing in them. They proceed to fill the bathtub at Max's place with the candy, creating a unique bonding experience. As their relationship deepens, they go out to watch a movie and end up intoxicated. That evening, as Alex escorts Max home, she daringly removes his sunglasses, a moment Max fears might end tragically. Surprisingly, she remains unharmed, suggesting that his deadly beauty requires full facial exposure to have its fatal effect. They return to Max's home, where an intimate moment is joyfully interrupted by his parents, who are delighted to see their son making a connection. Max's parents reveal they're hosting a foreign exchange student, a girl who'll be living with them. They introduce her to everyone, and the group decides to spend the day out. However, the exchange student decides to leave early. preferring the company of another girl she meets along the way. During their outing, Alex accidentally gets scratched by a branch. Max thoughtfully uses a strip from the bandages he wears over his face to tend to her wound. Despite Alex's usual struggle with emotions due to her condition requiring her to constantly monitor her heart, she begins experiencing feelings. Later that evening, Alex expresses a desire to see Max's face. After a heartfelt conversation and a kiss, they learn that one of the elderly ladies from the nursing home, who is terminally ill, is nearing the end of her life. Max visits her, and amidst her suffering, she asks him to reveal his face, hoping for a peaceful end. Initially hesitant, Max eventually consents, removing his sunglasses and bandages, and by looking at her, grants her wish, easing her pain through his unique but tragic ability. The woman passes away content and at peace, free from pain. Following this event, Max and Alex's relationship deepens, filled with emotion. His parents are equally delighted, happy to see Max with a partner. However, their happiness faces a challenge when Alex suddenly disappears. When he finally manages to speak with her, Alex claims her mother prevented her from going out. Later, with a party on the horizon, Max feels anxious about inviting Alex. Encouraged by his friend Dan, Max gathers the courage to extend the invitation through a text, yet receives no reply. Determined, Max visits her home, where Alex reveals her condition is worsening, necessitating an increase in her medication. Despite this, Alex agrees to attend the party with Max. The party kicks off vibrantly, filled with excitement and joy. Max and Alex enjoy their time immensely, engaging in dance, conversation, and playful flirting, embracing the moments of happiness together. As they dance, the music shifts to a more romantic tune, leading Max and Alex into an intensely romantic moment. However, the emotional surge causes Alex's heart to beat alarmingly fast, leading to a nosebleed. Fearing the worst, she abruptly leaves the party. The evening takes a further downturn for Max, who is visibly distraught by Alex's departure. His close friend, Dan, stays by his side, offering support and trying to uplift his spirits. Complications escalate when the aggressive individual from earlier in the story, who is also an ex-boyfriend of Dan's current girlfriend, crashes the party. Seeking confrontation, he aggressively targets Max, mocking his mask and persistently provoking him. In a moment of tension, the aggressor forcefully removes Max's mask, inadvertently exposing Max's face to Dan's girlfriend, which tragically results in her immediate demise. The situation intensifies as Max is apprehended by the police following the incident and taken into custody, accused of being responsible for the girl's death. Amidst this chaos, an ambulance is seen taking Alex away, adding to Max's distress. Fortunately, Max is eventually released from detention, but he finds himself deeply troubled by the recent events. Freedom does little to ease Max's turmoil. His parents are shown deeply concerned for their son, who now grapples with severe depression, reflecting the profound impact of these compounded challenges on his life. Feeling overwhelmed by the lethal nature of his gaze, Max becomes desperate to end the curse. In a distressing moment, he grabs a brick and attempts to disfigure his own face to prevent causing any more deaths. However, his parents intervene in time, preventing serious injury and embracing him in a poignant, comforting hug. The following day, Max visits Alex and uncovers a heartbreaking truth: Alex had been downplaying her illness. She reveals that her condition is far more grave than previously admitted, confessing she too is facing a terminal illness. This revelation deeply affects Max, altering his perspective on their situation. Alex makes a somber request, asking Max if he would consider revealing his face to her, granting her a painless departure like the elderly woman. Max immediately rejects the idea, unwilling to be the cause of Alex's death, leading to a temporary cessation of their visits. During this period, Max attends the funeral of Dan's girlfriend, a casualty of his curse. It's there that he and Dan engage in a significant discussion about Alex, with Dan offering insights that help Max grasp Alex's perspective and the gravity of her request. Dan persuades Max, emphasizing that Alex is not to blame and urging him to visit her as she is nearing the end of her life. Moved by Dan's counsel, Max reconsiders and decides to see Alex in the hospital. Their meeting is filled with heartfelt emotions as they openly express their love for each other, leading to a poignant climax. Max removes the bandages from his face and joins Alex on the bed, sharing a tender kiss. For a moment, it seems Alex is unaffected by Max's fatal trait. But as she gazes at him with joy, her condition worsens due to the overwhelming happiness, and she passes away, leaving Max heartbroken. Max is seen mourning at Alex's funeral, grappling with his sorrow. Later, he finds himself at the bridge where they first met, the spot he once considered for ending his own life. Holding an envelope labeled with Alex's name, he places inside it the jello they once talked about and releases it into the river, a gesture symbolizing his farewell and the cherished memories they shared. Gradually, Max begins to find his way back to a sense of normalcy. He resumes sessions with psychologists, sharing his entire journey. He acknowledges feeling better than he did before meeting Alex and being acquitted in the incident involving the girl's death. Through these conversations, Max starts to come to terms with his unique condition and learns how to manage it. His parents, too, gain a deeper understanding of his situation, signaling a turning point in Max's life. Then, Max receives a surprising series of letters. It emerges that his story has reached many people, particularly his ability to end lives without causing pain, attracting requests from those seeking a peaceful end for terminally ill loved ones. Max also maintains a friendship with Esther, one of the senior residents from the nursing home, showcasing that love, in its true form, acts as a shield, allowing those who truly care about him to see his face without harm. In an additional scene, we see a bad guy unexpectedly knock on Max's door. Max opens the door without covering his face and killing the other man instantly. The end. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.